Call a meeting to order at 12:13. Crossed it out a few times. Salute the flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Correction and approval of minutes, we'll have to wait till next meeting because we don't have enough people here to vote. Date of next meeting?
January 8th.
January 8th?
Oh, that's right, that's the second Monday.
It's a fast month.
Correspondence?
None.
None. Motion to accept the director's report?
Motion to accept.
Second?
Second.
And discussion?
So it was a fun month. The numbers are ticking down now. We're definitely in the beginning of the winter crunch, or fall/winter crunch. But we are still seeing consistently higher numbers than last year, so 1,000 or 700, depending if we're talking about door count versus circulation. We have seen an increase in people coming in for help with tech things again, so that's always fun to see. And the social media is still going strong. So depending on what happens in spring or summer, we might be behind hitting the 100,000 circulation mark that I was hoping for, but I have to wait and see how that goes. The children's programs I'll let my assistant director talk about. The book clubs have been going very well. We were happy. Obviously, we're going to continue to encourage folks to come to our sci-fi fantasy book club. We currently have 3 to 5 people. Not everyone can make the meeting, but we have about 6 or 7 people in total that are checking the books out, with 3 or 4 coming to the meeting itself. It's an interesting experience for me to see the difference between the 2 book clubs, because the sci-fi fantasy book club, being much smaller, can go a lot more in-depth in conversing about the themes and the things that happen in the book. Whereas with the mystery book club being gigantic, we can't go that, because we have to give people opportunities to talk.
What's the sci-fi club?
The Sci-Fi Fantasy Club is normally the 4th Monday of the month. That one is really, really varied because the books hop all over the place, because science fiction and fantasy are such broad genres.
Is it during the day or?
Same time, 6 o'clock, yeah. So, it's been fun to see. And then the Friday Book Club, which means Friday at 10, the second Friday of the month at 10:30, just met this past Friday. They're going very well as well.
And what is their book topic typically?
It's all over the place. Sometimes it's nonfiction, sometimes it's fiction, sometimes it's drama. It's very much varied month to month. So
I'm sorry, what was your goal you mentioned?
I would want to hit 100,000 circulation. So in order to do that, our monthly circulation has to be around 8,355 on average. So we were on the bubble, thanks to July and August circulations being so high. But the last couple months, we've been drawing down against the average. And then this month, we definitely dipped below that. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, there might be a big pop, and we might get circulation going back up the other ways. But this is the lull months, so this is where
Is it
usually we
your,
have
are
lower.
you a January to January, January to December
I
calendar?
do
or-
fiscal
You
year,
do.
so we go July through June. So if we get back towards April, May, June, if there's enough of a pop to pull us back up and over, maybe next year, otherwise. In terms of developments, our preliminary FY25 budget has been submitted to Town Hall and was submitted to FinCom by the town administration with no modifications. So we will see how that goes. Basically, that's just level funding for everything except for contractually required increases for staff salaries, which looks like it's going to shape up to be 3% as of right now, depending on what the select board says, obviously. But yeah, I think I have an email waiting for me in my inbox with the date of our FinCom presentation, so we'll have to see when we were given. I'm not sure yet, either this month or beginning of next month. The long-range plan has officially been accepted and put on file by the MBLC, Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners, with no corrections. and no requests for additional information, so we were really happy with that. And then, you know, we were talking about meetings last week from the town and stuff. The history room was able to be useful in town again, and our dear Robin Winters has participated in a project to add names to the Mariners Lost at Sea monument down at the harbor. The current monument is actually too small to fit all the names that they've located, partially using the history room records or using the records as jumping off places for further research. So there are actually currently plans underway to replace the monument with a larger monument to be able to fit all of the additional new names that have been identified for Westporters who were lost at sea whilst marinering. So we're really proud of her for that. In terms of the building and grounds, we've had 3 companies come and look at the rubber flooring behind the circulation desk to give us quotes. 1 quote has been received, 1 is pending. And the 3rd company, South Coast Flooring, which is based here in Westport, has actually offered to do the entire project, either completely pro bono if they have enough extra rubber flooring, or at cost with the labor donated if we just pay wholesale for the rubber flooring if they don't have enough in-house.
So we would use what they have in-house and then supplement that?
Either if they have enough in-house, we can just use what they have in-house. If not, then they'd order it, and then we just have to pay for the wholesale price. And then they would donate the labor to install it.
We need to vote on that?
Not yet, we don't have anything written up formally.
Okay.
I just wanted to inform the board of this offer.
That sounds
We're still
great.
waiting to see back, but they're currently filled up for work, so they would have to wait until the spring or the summer. Since the floor has been in its current condition for 2 years, I think we can wait a couple more months. So that would be my recommendation at this time, pending further information from anybody else. In terms of the display case, unfortunately, Lowe's proved unable to cut the plexiglass that we needed for the case to the measurements we needed. The cutter they have on site could not do the thickness that we needed. So with help from our dear Don Davidson, we were able to procure shelving at the correct measurements and thickness from Citywide Glass in Fall River and Dartmouth, which is currently sitting in my office, and later today we will find out if it actually fits or not. So that's that process. In terms of our surplus furniture, we've been working on trying to get rid of some extra stuff we've had lying around and taking up space. We have now reached the point where we have submitted a formal request to the select board to consider said items surplus and to empower the town administrator to dispose of them as possible. So we're currently waiting to get that, which should occur at the next select board meeting, which is a week from today.
So if the town were to sell them, would we get that money?
No, so this is not it's not getting sold. We're not sure how we're going to dispose of them once they're disposed of, but the disposal process is for stuff that is pretty much worthless in terms of money value.
But isn't some of it the heavy tables?
Yeah. So far, I don't think they're worth anything because I don't think anybody wants them. Whether or not
Unless
there's,
they were like permanently placed someplace and you didn't have to worry about moving them.
well, that's the thing though, but I mean, the cost of getting them taken out or disassembled or something, they're basically a money sink because you have to process them first. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
In terms of if they were sold, basically, anytime any town material is sold, the profits from that sale just goes into the town's general fund, unless town meeting has specifically directed the money to go somewhere else. So if we were to sell anything that was part of the library holdings, the money devolves to the town itself, unless,
We could get someone to say the library should get it back because we're really needy.
but then we'd have to, basically just the long version of that is then that would have to go through the select board to get put at town meeting, yada, 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 or all that good
Got it.
stuff. So it's a long process. And as far as I know, all of the items in question don't have any monetary value. They've been at the library for years, they're beat up. Some of them, the laminate on the top of the tables is peeling up. The chairs are interesting. So we'll see, and that's where that process is right now. That's what I got. Oh, that's not true. A couple extra things I didn't have time to put onto the report itself. We had to replace the lock on the chain out between the school parking lot and our parking lot. Just due to the weather and everything, it broke, so we had to get a new one out there. We finally got somebody from the state park department, DCR, to email us the application for the state park pass. So that's officially finally been submitted after 9 phone calls and I don't even know how many emails.
It's short staff.
Yeah, so I've been trying to get that for 2 years, so it's been a whole thing. And just in case anybody here has or has not heard, the Sales mobile app is currently dead. I didn't realize how many people used it until it stopped working. But yeah, so the app that you could log into your library account, see what you had checked out, see your holds, have stuff sent to the library. It's irrevocably broken at this point. The library network is currently looking at potential replacements for it. The company that made the original app has a new version of the app coming out in 6 to 8 months. So they're disinclined to put the money into fixing the app that is currently, was being used, because why should they lose, sink money into something that literally is gonna get replaced in 6 months anyways. So Sales is currently working on that. Workaround otherwise is just logging into the library's catalog from salesinc.org with your library card information and skipping the app.
It's just the app.
Just the app is dead.
What is DCR?
The Department of
Conservation?
Conservation and Recreation.
Okay. Got it.
Thank you. And now I'm done.
That will be a really good thing, because for people to get a day pass is really expensive,
Yeah.
even if you live in the state.
That's true. Yeah, the horse neck's not cheap, but
A vote on accepting George's report. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carrie?
yay.
Assistant Director?
Okay, we're on a 3-week break from story times right now until after.
Oh, wait a minute,
the
before we do
holidays.
that,
sorry.
motion to accept, I'm sorry, motion
sorry.
to accept Assistant Director's report.
Motion?
I second it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, now
Go
good,
ahead.
okay. So we're on a short break, we're gonna start again on January 2nd and 3rd with the same Wednesday program, and we're gonna try the Tuesday program again with a few changes and see how that goes. The Kids Christmas Crafternoon program was this past Saturday. We had 52 people come, which was awesome.
Did you say crafternoon?
Crafternoon,
That's
yes. So there was Christmas ornaments, and we had music and refreshments and things like that. So it was really fun, and it went really well, so I was happy about that. And that's about it right now.
Very good.
Very good.
All in favor?
I have a question.
Oh,
I second it.
What is the signage project?
That was, I think I talked about it the last meeting too. I'm sorry, so that's why you didn't know.
Yeah.
I was working on doing signage in the children's section to make everything easier to find for people. And it took a couple of months, but I have basically all the signs out there. And people have really liked it. I've had a lot of good feedback that they are having a much easier time finding things. And we want to do the adult nonfiction next. That's the next labeling project. But.
A vote to accept? All in favor? Aye, okay. Friends update,
Nothing to report at this time.
okay. Trustee Subcommittee, Safety,
Display case, we kind of already covered it in the director's report. We have the
Mm-hmm.
prototype in my office, which after we're done, I'll go over and see if it fits or if we have to have it recut, and then we'll go from there.
and emergency response policy.
You could probably. I don't
Better
know,
wait
guess
for,
till
I would
Dawn's
wait
here.
for Dawn, so next meeting?
Yep.
Long-range planning,
Just to reiterate, it's been accepted, so thank you everyone who worked on it for your input. It's been a fun process.
really?
That's good. But yeah, so it's on file with the Boston. We have a long-range plan. We're good for 5 years, so we won't have to do this till 2029.
New business?
Nothing.
Old business? Meeting room policy? I thought this room was 120 people.
The total room is 120.
Okay, because
Which version do you have?
the one that you put in the packet.
Does it say December 11th on the cover?
No, it does not.
On the left hand?
It was with this.
Okay.
Oh, so it's this.
So that one.
This, no, that's the policy
Yeah.
procedures. Say
It-
each one,
it was-
the 11th, this one doesn't say that.
Yeah, so if you see, it said room, so it does it by half, not by the whole. We should
Right.
probably tweak that, that's true. So basically it's 60 per side, so 120 total.
Right, so how do you want that
And it can
worded?
be
So it should be
rented as a
rooms.
whole?
I'm sorry?
It could be rented as a whole if needed?
Yeah.
Borrow, yeah, that's true, yeah.
This was the original,
Mhm, that's the
and we
new.
doubled it.
Yep, so 60 and audience arrangement, 30 with tables. The most I've ever gotten around the tables is
But it's 120,
26.
isn't it? No.
Total, yeah. And
So
that's
how
the
do we
thing.
make sure it's understood that it's 120 total?
We just have to work on that, change the wording, so it's
Yeah.
each side, not,
So that needs to be fixed.
yeah, so that one needs to fix that.
And there was, under group responsibilities, fourth bullet,
Yep, library staff will not.
library staff will not set up, 2 words.
I think that's one, is it? Is it two?
Set up is
Two.
a noun, but set up is 2 words.
Okay.
Yes, no?
I believe so.
English major. Sorry. Old business, can I ask George, have we done anything with replacing the front door? We were waiting to get a,
No, the safety committee's been focusing on getting the emergency procedures done first, so was working on that and then moving
And
over to
then-
the door. I know Don found a couple of doors that looked like they suited the purposes, and that's as far as that project got so far.
other topics not anticipated? Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?